SmartBear for life. Yeah. SmartBear for life. Stand up when the chief is here. Hands up. Yeah, the chief is here. Stand up when the chief is here. Hands up. Yeah, the chief is here. Yeah. SmartBear for life.
Rob, this is the hot seat of the hot seat. You know that you are in front of all of us now right now. It's a pleasure, and it's also quite. You should be a little bit frightened because now we're going to go deep on you, right? We need to know who you really are, and who is Rob Hirso actually, and what is the meaning of life according to Rob Hirso, and are you actually rich? And another question, do you have one life passion or do you have many? And then another question, where do you get your energy from? Is it from love, people, drugs, sex? Your level of energy is just amazing. So I think we kick off this hot seat with a really difficult and question that defines you. What is the meaning of life according to you?
Wow. I always joke to people when I meet them for the first time, and I kind of say, let's not mess around with the small talk. I mean, let's go really deep, like, any question you want. So, and then they go, well, how do you want to start? So I said, well, I normally start by saying, how often do you have threesomes and, put in a butt plug or something with a straight face, and you can see the wheels come off in their head. And I said, but let's really go deep. What's the meaning of life? So I actually do have an answer for that. And I wish I had a better word for it, but I really do think the meaning of life is self-improvement. And I wish someone else could come up with a better word or description, but I think you get one shot, and that is your life. There is no afterlife. There's no, turning into a cockroach in your next life. I think your life is now when you are alive. When you're dead, you're gone. There's no afterlife. And so your opportunity in life is to be a better person, to be funnier, to be cleverer, to be kinder, to be more generous, to be more successful, to make more money, to give more money away. And that is the meaning of life. It's self-improvement. Sorry about the dog next door. And self-improvement, if you are funnier and kinder and a better person in all the aspects, you improve the lives of the people around you. If you're kinder, you make them feel better. If you're funnier, you make them smile. If you're generous, you improve their life for the day or the year or whenever. And that's your role in life. And when you're gone, you're gone. And I used to think, of my grannies and grandpas, and I didn't know them all, but thanks, Ross, I need a haircut. Mike, if you think of your grandparents or your great-grandparents, what do you have of them in your house? Maybe one picture of your granny and grandpa, maybe a book your grandmother gave you. I have a Rudyard Kipling poem book for my grandmother, and I have a picture of my one granny and grandpa. That's it. But I remember them for their love and kindness, the stories they told, their generosity. So that's the meaning of life.
Yeah.
And pass it forward. Hope I did well there.
I think what comes through to me when I think about you, Rob, is that you have that leadership ability without being a leader in the way that formal, and you have a personality that actually rubs off on other people, and that's a great asset. I once read that one person in a room with 100 can change the entire energy in the room, right? And I think you're one of them. And that leads me to the other question: where do you get your energy from? I mean, every time I meet you, you're full of, you're bubbly, you come up with new angles, you're funny, and you keep doing this every day, and you just look at SmartBear, how you energized entire channels, right? where's the secret? Where do you get your energy from?
That's I really, really am excited when I wake up in the morning. About 10 days ago, I didn't sleep very well. And about 3 in the morning, I thought, I need to write down what's in my head. And I wrote 20 things down. And it was I don't think I should show anyone the list of things, but there was even a video game called Save the Cape, where we were about to fight invaders who were going to invade the Cape. And it was a video game. So I thought, okay, do video game, save the Cape, stuff like that. But I wake up in the morning excited about doing things, trying things, making things happen. And I just feel energized. And business to me is not business. It's just such a passionate and excitement. So I love starting ideas, turning ideas into businesses, or turning ideas into action. I love it. But it very quickly get to a point where people better than me, John Paolo, Charlie, Gareth, Dylan, Tondi, I get them involved and they see where it's going and they formalize it and take it to the next level. And then I start losing a bit of interest. I still have to be involved because it's a business. I own a piece. It's important, but I'm already thinking of the next fun thing to try and see if I can make it a success. And I've become better at bringing in better people than me as quickly as possible on everything I do. So I find the CEO and I'm thrilled. Thank God, this guy's going to take it to the next level. This girl's going to make it. And now I can try something else. And I often get a criticism that I could be richer than I am if I just focused. And I absolutely know that's true, 100%. But I wouldn't have as much fun. I'd still be doing, Marquee Jet, and it would be worth $1 billion. But I think I'm happier now than I would be as only doing Marquee Jet today after 20 years.
Okay.
So where does the energy come from? It just comes from enthusiasm, enjoyment. And I think I'm actually quite childish. I really am. I can't sit through an hour's meeting without cracking a joke. I really can't. If I had to address the cabinet, I would be saying silly stuff very quickly.
So coming into money, right? You obviously, I would say you're a lucky guy from start, right? You were born by a well-known family in South Africa. You have this personality. You had obviously parents that would give you great energy and love. But are you actually rich? Are you financially? Are you financially independent, or are you where are you on money? Because sometimes I feel that you are giving and giving and giving, and you never really make any money on all the efforts you put in, as you just mentioned, because you kind of do thing and then you jump on to the next one. So
such a good question. I am rich relative to everyone on this listening to the show. I am rich. I'm in the top, whatever it is, 0.001%. I'm not a dollar billionaire, and I currently don't have $100 million available. If you shake me up and down, I don't have $100 million, but I am rich. A beautiful house. I've a number of beautiful houses. I've got cash in the bank, and I can pretty much do what I want. What is my definition of rich? Because about 10, 15 years ago, a friend and I tried to understand that. This is what rich is. You can educate your children, no matter how many you have, at private schools and to any length of university, MBA, PhD that they want to do. So you have no question, no debt. Actually, you have no debt. That's rich at all, not even a mortgage. You are able to eat at a restaurant, breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day if you want to. You are able to take as much holiday and even work from holiday as you want. And on long distance travel, you can fly in business or first flatbed. That's rich. What money do you need to do that? I think you need 20 to 25 million US dollars liquidity to live that life. I do think it's that little, and I do think it's that much, depending on where you are on the spectrum. But if you had 20 million US dollars cash in the bank, you live that life. You can go on holiday when you want, eat restaurants when you want, educate your children, and, you know, basically live a rich life. That's rich. You don't need more than that. You really don't. I mean, would I like to fly private all the time? Yes. That's not going to happen. Not right now.
But if I try to summarize it, you know, I think you already said it, that money is not the first thing you wake up and think about in the morning, right? And I think that is very, very healthy. Come back to your ego, right? So what insults you? What makes you upset, right? I know that you don't like to get presents, for example. You have to tell us why you don't like to get gifts or but do you like to get appreciations from people? You know, people saying that you are beautiful, you're tall, you have a big penis, as we spoke about before.
Call the baby's arm.
How is your ego? You know, what triggers your ego in a positive way, and what triggers your ego in a negative way?
Wow. I guess it's changed over time. It really has. When I was at boarding school at Michael House, I probably was the richest kid there, or the kid of the richest parents. And I was a mummy's boy when I arrived. So those Michael House boys that are on here, Sean Flanagan, who's a little bit younger than me, you know, I was pretty insecure and I was bullied. And I know that guys who went to like agricultural colleges think, oh, fuck, Michael House, how can you get bullied in Michael House? All a bunch of pussies. That's not the case. You know, we had hardcore Joburg guys and Natal farm boys, and they looked at me and went, what a wuss, mummy's boy. And I could have gone either way. I could have become the wuss that they thought I was, or what I became. And at age 17, I just flipped a switch and said, I'm going to stand up and tell jokes. I'm going to be confident. I'm just going to get on with being funny and charming and positive and not give a shit. Because my granny called me one day and said an amazing thing. She said, worry only has the force you give it. There's another way of saying it, is don't sweat the small stuff. So sometimes Katie's worried about something and I go, oh, okay. So you've got people starving in Africa and we've got this issue you're worried about. And then she looks at me and goes, stuff you, you're right again. I'm not worried about it. So you can worry only about the things that you can actually deal with and that are worth worrying about. And they're very few. Health, your family, that's about it. So ego. Everyone's a bit egotistical. I mean, I say men have only 3 hang-ups: height, hair, and the size of their penises. And I'm fucking lucky in all those scores. And this is not a challenge, although I'm happy to take it, you know. And then later in life, money. So I have those 4 things. So I have confidence that probably goes beyond luck. But I got a call today from someone I've never met, Justin Power. Great name, Justin Power. He's a SmartBear, never met him. And he called me out of the blue. I'm like, and he said, Rob, I've been following all the SmartBear stuff. I just want to tell you, I want to volunteer. I want to pass the goodness forward. I want to do something great. Tell me how to get involved. Like, that made my day. That's it. I thought, done. I made my day. And I feel that ego, I'm proud of that because I think I took a mantra. I stole it from a Kevin Spacey movie, Pay It Forward, and I injected it into SmartBear. And it really has resonated with people. I think people have really made an effort, and it's just that beyond my 3 hole-in-ones, my baby's arm. Sorry.
So coming back to, I think it's great, Rob, and I'm so thankful for what you're doing. You know, of getting us together and you know, helping each other out, and also helping other people out. Coming back to what I want to drill a little bit on what triggers you in a negative way. What insults you? You know, when do you get a little bit angry?
Well, it's usually because I haven't slept properly. and I had this weird sleeping sickness of the last 3 days. So anyone who's been on SmartBear has seen my rants and raves about the ANC, the left, and socialism. So deep down, my deep, dark DNA defect, DDDD, is I really am a libertarian politically, economically. I hate governments who are incompetent telling us what to do. I mean, how dare they make decisions on our behalf that they're not obeying, and they're completely incompetent. And I wouldn't hire them for, a shit job in a shit business, And I look at that whole cabinet, Tita Mboweni, sort of okay, Zweli's okay. That's it. I mean, the rest are not very smart, and I'm being polite now. So I get pissed off by that, and I get pissed off by people who are selfish and lazy. And this coronavirus, has given people an opportunity to step up and pass the goodness forward, or hide in the shadows, be lazy and selfish. And I just don't like that,
So maybe we can move in. So you spend a major part of your life, 31 years in London, right? And then one day you decided to move back to Cape Town, or back to South Africa more correctly, because you didn't live in Cape Town before you moved to London, right? What triggered you? What happened? Did you wake up one morning and said, I'm done with London, I'm moving? Or how was it?
No, I absolutely loved London. And if I had to leave South Africa, I'd go back there. To me, it's the greatest capital on earth, and the country's the greatest country on earth in terms of fairness and poetry and literature and cricket and rugby and the people. And, other than the sickness of Labour and the left, it's the greatest country in the world. And when Boris got elected, yeah, baby, I thought I'm leaving this country in good shape. I feel like I got him elected. It's a bit of my ego. And every year I'd come on holiday to South Africa, or I'd read a, poem or a book, Denise Raitt, Adrift on the Open Veldt, and I just felt homesick. And Hans, I know you love this country, South Africa, but for South Africans, it's amazing. It gets into your skin. I don't know any country like this. I wanted to come home. I was genuinely homesick, and Zuma was in charge. And I said to Katie, I want to be home, and I want to see my country for 3 or 4 more years before it goes down the toilet, because Zuma is destroying it. I mean, what a monster. And he's not even in jail. I want to be home. I want to go home. And I would have gone to Johannesburg because I like Joburg, but Casey forced me to come to Paradise. I should show you the view. And I'm in love with this country for all its weaknesses. And that's why I get so angry and passionate sometimes, because, everyone here deserves better than what we're getting. So I came back because I wanted to come back, because I actually believe that I can make a difference. So other than my rants and raves, please forgive me. Hans flipped a switch in my head. Moses Tembe flipped a switch in my head. Katie flipped a switch in my head. Said, guys, Rob, stop being negative and living here. Just flip a switch. And Hans, you made a difference. You said, let's make Cape Town the tech hub of Africa. I went, yeah, that I can do. And so I am a believer. I just want to shake the ANC and say, stop being such bastards. I love this country. I love it.
So just a matter of time here. So 5 years from now, where is South Africa 5 years from now?
Whew.
Give us. You don't make it too long. Just say, okay. Is Eskom sold? The currency is stronger. What is?
This crisis is a good thing. The ANC has run out of money. They can't steal anything or break anything anymore. So they're going to have to do private-public partnerships on the SOEs. I would get involved in launching a new airline if government and unions had zero ownership or say, like Ethiopia. So I think they're going to be forced to do that. They're going to be forced to allow independent power producers, new entrants into the aviation sector. This is going to be a good thing. Break up the SOEs, get the incompetent people off all the boards. That's a positive. I think foreign direct investment will pour into this country if you stop the rhetoric of land redistribution. Nobody understands it. Give government land away. Do that. But bring foreign direct investment in. Liberalize the economy, and it will take off like a rocket. But until they do that, we're just going to keep heading down. But I think the ANC is going to crack in half, because the good people of the ANC, I think, will eventually have had enough. So I'm cautiously negative.
I'm on
Could
your
be
side,
cautiously
so,
positive.
Yeah, I'm on your side.
We need your Pepper and Musi Maimani and David Carter in this country.
So you actually doing a great thing now, creating. I would say the COVID-19 has taken SmartBear to not another level, into another dimension. So could you tell us a little bit about your vision, what you want to do with SmartBear, and how you see it develop over time?
I'll tell this very quickly, and help me with this, everyone. I don't know where I'm going. I think there are 4 hemispheres. I call them Earth, Mars, Mercury, and Venus. Earth is Earth, 8 billion people that need help, charity, access, opportunity, love, kindness, compassion. Mars is SmartBear. It's made up of Martians, all drinking and fighting and arguing and hugging and working together and playing golf and rugby. And to you guys, it's this mad DNA, and I love it. Mercury is the S group. It's a bit of a calmer version, unless I lose the plot, which I did the last 3 days. It's a calmer version, but it's a business, libertarian, capitalist version of helping each other do better in a for-profit capitalist system. If somebody wants to be connected to a senior person at ShopRite Checkers, connect them and don't ask for anything in return. And then there's Venus at the top. Venus are the God kingmakers. They're the people that can make such a difference to your life. And your 1,000 kingmakers and my 1,000 might be 80% the same, but 20% different. Mine are probably mostly business people, billionaires, successful business people. But, Ross Gregory's might be hairdressers. I'm just kidding, Ross. Athletes, entertainers. And I want to create these 3 hemispheres where everybody's helping one another, and you can graduate into the other hemisphere. Goodness goes down, help goes up, or at least, accessibility. And the kingmakers have access to us, and they say, if you do the following good thing, I will reward you with some help, time, etc. And they get in return a thunderbolt. And a thunderbolt is, I want the Lee Speck Parkway clean for 2 weeks a year. Who's volunteering? Okay? Or something like that. So goodness, paying the goodness, but helping people in return. And I'm working it out, and I'm trying to get there. And Dylan and Tondi and Sue and Claire and Gerrit and Hans and Justin, and Yor and everybody, we're getting there. And I'll try and be more lucid the next time I talk to you.
So, I think many of us have been or are members of different clubs, right? The clubs in London, Stockholm, Berlin, you name it. But the SmartBear and S-Connect, I have never seen anything like it in my life. Coming back to South Africa, making South Africa great again, right? How could you connect SmartBear, the power of SmartBear, into helping South Africa to heal and to get the economic engine going, right? Growth needs to be above 5% to bring down the unemployment rate, etc. How can we, SmartBears, what could we do to help South Africa?
Wow. Whew. Look, I think I'm helping and harming. I'm helping in the sense that pulling people together and trying to keep peace. Somebody said in Game of Thrones, which character are you? All the girls want to be Khaleesi, and all the guys want to be Jon Snow. But I'm Mance Rayder. And if you remember, he was the head of the wall who crossed the wall and left the guard, the Lights Watch. And he went and united the wild walkers, or whatever they're called. I think it was the wrong guys. The giants, all the lunatic wild things on the other side of the wall, which is really SmartBear. It's the, you know, it's the Yours and the Andres and the Davids and the Hunses and the Rickuses and the Sheriffs and the, I think I'm uniting everyone together. But in the end of the day, Jon Snow had to you know, kill Mance Rayder with an arrow because, you know, I'm hurting and harming in my rants and raves. So how do we help South Africa? We get as many good-minded people together into SmartBear and S-Connect who can argue and bang heads, but have a drink and hug each other at the end of it. And the more we add, the more we will impact upon the people up there that we are the majority. And we need to get there. But I need to be shot with an arrow at some point to make that happen.
Before we leave SmartBear, I want to ask you another question, and that is actually, how do we make SmartBear? I mean, Rob, you are the core right now, but how do we build SmartBear so it's not totally dependent upon you? And I'm coming to the fact that I know you're working hard to build the structure together with your team and also fund the team. That's why you are asking for 5,000 rand there and 5,000 rand there. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about, just to give us a view on how are we going to be able to fund SmartBear together? Because you know it needs people full time. It's grown so big, so we need to have a proper staffing, and they obviously need to have a salary, etc., etc. How do you building it?
So SmartBear and S Group's kind of an experiment. You know, Tondi and Dylan and I and Gerrit and Suzanne and Kat wake up in the morning, and then Tondi calls me and he goes, I've got an idea for a group, an S rugby group. You know, we get Sia and we get Branabana and we get Skulk Brits together for free, all these rugby players. And then we ask business leaders to put in 5,000 rand each, and we put them all together, and we have the business leaders mentor athletes on migrating from professional to commercial career. So we go, okay, let's try it. And then Dylan comes up with an idea. He came up with Lion Cage. Yeah, let's try it. So we're trying things and testing out 5,000 rand, 10,000 rand, 2,000 rand. And my commitment is that I will not take a cent out of this personally for 2 years, for as long as there's a SmartBear in trouble that we can hire to do whatever, it doesn't matter. And we're experimenting. I'm not quite sure. We need a new platform in parallel with WhatsApp. That's going to cost money. We need to try things out. We need good people. You know, it is going to cost money, and we're just testing here and there. We haven't yet hit a point where, well, actually, Warren Wheatley said, Rob, I'll just sign up for everything, but why don't you give me one amount? I'll pay it, and then you don't have to bother me anymore. Thank you, Warren, but I don't know what that number is. So we're just trying it out for the time being. But yes, we have an opportunity, all of us, to make something magical out of this. So let's give it a crack.
That's great. So we only have a couple of minutes left. I'm going to shoot some questions, and you have to choose one of them, right?
Ooh.
Okay. Gin and tonic or white wine?
Gin and tonic.
Okay. Cape Town or $10 million?
Cape Town.
Great. South African rand or British pounds?
British pound. British pound.
Okay. Ramaphosa or Boris Johnson?
Boris Johnson.
Zuma or Hillary Clinton?
Hillary Clinton. Hate to say it. Yeah, okay, Hillary Clinton.
Okay. Great party or go to bed early?
Great party, but I sneak out at 11 o'clock and go to bed because I do that a lot. That's the perfect party for me. Even my own parties, I sometimes sneak out at 11. Can I tell two things?
Yes, we have one more thing and then you can say, so sing or dance?
Sing. I'm the singer, Katie's the dancer. We joke about it. She can't sing and I can't dance. Listen, my parents are 93 and 87. Who has parents alive? My father's still flying airplanes. I mean, why did I get so lucky? You know, I meet Katie. I met my soulmate. How did I get so lucky? What is my role in life that whoever God is within you or whatever, I got so fucking lucky. I mean, So I hope I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing on Earth. And if I'm not, tell me.
That's great.
That's my message.
Yeah.
I'm going to up my game.
Rob,
Yeah.
you're fantastic.
Thank you.
And we are at the end of our little hot seat, the hot seat of the year, I would say. Thank you very much.
And thank you, everyone. What a
one
friend.
thing before we hang up now, one little more story is actually fantastic Mr. Fox.
Okay, well, it's kind of a mad thing, but there was a girlfriend for like 2 weeks in London when I was single, who said to me, would you like to meet Wes Anderson? And I love Wes Anderson movies. And I said, God, I'd love to. She said, okay, well, I'll arrange for you to meet him. So I drove the hour out of London, and he was doing voiceovers in a sound studio. I went to meet him, and he goes, oh, hi, Rob. Yeah, she told me about you. Have you ever done a voiceover? And I actually had. I said, yeah, I did one for Gillette and whatever, Gillette. He said, okay, why don't you read here, you can be the helicopter pilot. So he hands me about 4 lines. And I went in and did my voiceover, and he said, oh, that was very good, but I've got so many British accents. Can you do other accents? I said, yeah, I can do Scottish, Irish, whatever you want. He goes, try a really different one. You choose. So I went in and I'd spoken my Afrikaans accent, speaking like an Afrikaner speaking English in South Africa. And that is the voiceover of the helicopter pilot in Fantastic Mr. Fox. So I came home, told Katie and the kids, who were quite young, and then forgot about it. And about 2 years later, I was at the Dunhill on the practice range, and Kyle MacLachlan of Twin Peaks came up to me and he tapped me on the shoulder. He goes, hey, Rob, well done on Fantastic Mr. Fox. And I looked at him and said, how the hell did you know? And he goes, I always read the credits. That was my moment of fame. And I thought, it's kind of a non-story, but I'm quite proud of it.
That's great. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Hans.
Thank
Love you
Fantastic.
guys.
Yes.
All the best.